Hey, thank you. Hey everyone. So, hello and welcome today. Stephen here from Dobby Ads. So, look again, Dobby Ads is your one-stop shop for all your creative services. Enhanced brand content, video ads, your storefronts, 3D, AI specific needs, all aimed for Amazon and e-commerce sellers. And today we're coming to you, and we're delighted to launch our Debrief Live series. As we know, selling products on Amazon or any e-commerce platform, it involves a lot from setting up the selling, the marketing strategies, getting your content right, payment, manufacturing, factory, supply chain, delivery, and so on. The list is endless. It's of course very tough. The Debrief Live initiative has been designed for us to help bring in subject matter experts to come and join us to discuss a specific topic in detail. And the aim of this series is really to delve into these specific areas to help our listeners firstly learn something, hopefully, but really to hopefully provide them with some nuggets that will help their overall online business. And to kick things off today, we want to start by looking at the marketing aspect to all of this, but really to get into how to build a strategy that will be right for your business and effective in improving your bottom line results. So to take us through this today, we've got AJ from Audacious Commerce. And yeah, AJ, look, firstly, thank you so much again for taking the time today. Maybe to start, could you...
My pleasure.
Give us a brief overview of yourself, your background, and by all means, then please take it from there and take the lead.
Yeah, sure. So I'm an e-commerce founder turned agency owner. So I actually talk from the perspective of actually knowing what to do, because I've been there and done it myself. My e-commerce company was in jewelry, and we had customers in 12 countries. So yeah, I have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and now I help other brands really understand how to grow and grow profitably, because I think that's one thing that gets overlooked. And so what we're going to talk about today, which is really, really exciting, is marketing strategy and what strategy actually is, because lots of people use the word strategy without really understanding what it means. So hopefully the next kind of 20-25 minutes you'll have a better understanding of what marketing strategy is and how to actually build one for your business. So I'm going to jump in.
Awesome.
Presentation. And so I titled this "How to Move Beyond Marketing Tactics to Strategy That Results in Revenue Growth." I really should probably title this "Profit Growth," but we'll get onto that. So what we're going to cover today is what marketing strategy is, why your e-commerce store actually needs one, why marketing strategy doesn't matter as much as you think if you have the right strategy, how to measure your progress, that's super important, and then where to start. And actually, I've got a free giveaway that I'm going to pass on to Stephen later, which is, I think, 2 sides, which is just question and answer things that will help you just actually distill what we're talking about today into an actual workable, usable document that will hopefully benefit you coming into 2024.
Right.
So, I always like to start with this question, which is, does having to market your e-commerce brand fill you with excitement? Does it make you feel okay, or does it make you want to dread life and dread what you're doing? And I think most people probably feel okay about it. Okay. Unless you come from a marketing background, you're probably not that excited. And if you're a product person or a creative, you probably dread actually thinking about marketing. Hopefully, I can change that. So many dread marketing in business because they take a tactical approach. They invest in, Amazon or PPC or SEO, or they go on to, networking, or they do trade shows, or they do, a variety of tactical things, and they never really step back and really think about what the plan is and how the plan is going to be executed. It's often easy if you take a tactical approach to jump between shiny objects, and I see this, and I know Steven sees this all the time on LinkedIn, where people are going, last month I tried TikTok, it was okay. This month we're trying email marketing. Next month, who knows? It's a lucky dip, right? And that's why people dread marketing. They have no way to measure if a tactic works or if they're actually approaching their end goal in a methodical measured way, and it can feel bloody exhausting if you're constantly thinking, well, we're going to try TikTok, and then TikTok hasn't really worked, so we'll try emails. Email hasn't really worked, so we're going to try. It all feels really, really tiresome. Thankfully, there is a better way.
Just on that, AJ, have you, from your experience, do you see that with all of those different types of dread, that is often a stopping point for a lot of people, and that they do give up at that point because can be overwhelming?
Yes, or they spend hours on the internet researching like what is the next shiny object to try.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when TikTok Shop got announced 2 months ago, everyone's like, "Hey, let's jump on that," without really understanding how it fits into their overall plan.
Okay.
Or the other thing is they get to an agency, the agency says, "Well, it sounds like you need PPC. What's your budget? Oh, you got $2,000. Right, we can spend $2,000 on PPC," without understanding what the competitive landscape looks like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Understood.
And so all of that stuff results in dread, or results in wanting you to climb back into bed, right? So super important that we understand that. So marketing strategy. So let's start by saying what it isn't. So it isn't a plan you look at once. Sorry. It isn't the size of War and Peace. It isn't complicated, and it isn't boring. Just to say all of that again. It isn't something you look at once. It isn't a tune. It isn't complicated. It isn't boring. What it is a plan how you're going to use marketing to reach your goals. It should only be two sides of A4, maybe 3, as the overarching plan. If you get into more tactical elements, you may want to write out more tactical plans, which then. But the executive summary, if you like, of it, marketing strategy should be quite short and simple. It's something you update often. I think we get into this notion that we write a business plan, we've done that, it's a tick box exercise, we tick that box off and we shove it in the drawer. And I feel the same thing happens with a marketing plan. And actually, the shorter your marketing plan is, the more likely you are to look at it, the more likely you are to think, well, actually, we've tried PPC for 6 months, it hasn't worked out, right? What have we learned? What can we roll that into? Do we need to remove that section? We need to then put in, this. And so, I've got clients, and we've written a marketing plan, say 6 to 9 months ago, and we've torn it up multiple times, and we've duct taped together their current plan and their current strategy based on what we've learned, and and what we've tried, and what we've seen that other people are doing, or other people are getting success with. And so it's constantly what I call like a working document. So it's constantly being updated, constantly being changed, constantly being argued over in a positive sense. Whenever I say the word argue, everyone's like, "Oh, he's negative." No, I mean positive is in
Of course. And is there, just kind of briefly, have you noticed, like, is there a best practice around how often you should update, or maybe does that depend on each individual's situation?
So I really think you should be looking at it weekly, if not daily.
Okay.
Right. And then you should be doing like end of the week or end of the month qualitative discussions with yourself and with your team, where you say, right, okay, what have we been trying in the last couple of months, and what do we need to look at in terms of changing the plan, or in terms of changing? Because the thing about strategy doesn't change. Strategy is your overarching plan, right? The tactical element, things change. And so if you have a strategy that we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, it doesn't really matter about the tactics. Because you can try different tactics, but the plan stays the same.
Yeah.
Lots of people think that their plan is tactics, which is not. It's this duality. But also, marketing strategies will tell you how you measure your progress. A lot of people go to an agency and they give them a couple of grand a month, and they say, "Well, you're the expert. You tell me how I should be measuring your progress." And they never hold them to account.
Yeah.
And so by having KPIs and benchmarks, which we'll come on to in a second, you really understand how to measure what you are doing and why you should be measuring it in that way, and how to measure it. Does that answer your question? Yeah?
Oh yeah, no, that's amazing.
Fantastic. And a marketing strategy will list out what tactics you think you would like to try. And again, it's fluid. So you may have a list of 20 things, and you may try 2 things that actually work really, really well, and you go, cool, well, we're just going to double down on those 2. and we're just going to keep going. And that's absolutely fantastic. So the purpose of strategy is you start with the goal and you work backwards. And so you have to have a goal. So your goal could be to make 100 grand in profit in the next 12 months. It could be to spend 4 days golfing. That's a good goal.
Yeah.
It could be to retire in 5 years. It could be sell your business next year for $500,000, right? But for me, when it comes to goal setting, goal planning, you have to make it really personal to what you're wanting to do, you know. And I think social media can be really, really harmful because I think it's indoctrinated lots of people to believe that they want the big mansion, the 12 cars, the 8 holidays a year, the jet, the yacht. And I don't think most people want that.
Yeah.
Well, I think most people actually want to be able to spend time with friends and family, to have enough money to not worry, to have enough money, you know, to have enough, you know, income to keep them active, to keep them busy, but not overwhelmed. And so I think pick a goal that's personal, number one. Pick a goal that's realistic, number two, and then number three, ignore everybody else, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so when you have point B in your mind, which is what you're trying to achieve, you have to think about point A, which is where you are currently at. So we need to think about where we are, what resources we have, how much time do we have. And so, I mean, you know, with time, it could be, right, you know, I only want to work 60 hours a week. Great, fantastic. It could be, actually, I'm happy to work 24/7, Monday to Friday, and then weekends, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anyone. I just want to sit in front of the TV and watch reruns of Friends, right? Or it could be, actually, you know, I'll sell it in 2 years' time, and therefore, actually, you know, the next 2 years, I'm going to work 70-hour weeks for 2 years. I'm not going to have a break. I'm not going to do anything, and therefore, I've got a fixed time period, a fixed amount of time, and therefore, we need to be really strategic in how we spend each second, each minute, every hour to ensure that we reach our goal.
Yeah.
And then, what constraints do you have? So the typical one usually is money, right? At that, you also may have time constraints. You also may have resource constraints. You may have tax constraints, right? Depending on where you're operating and where you're selling and what marketplaces you're selling on. And so it's really, really important that you understand all of these. You know, what resources do you have? What constraints do you have? What time do you have? And so, yeah, so you can think of this as like an extended SWOT analysis. I don't know whether do you understand what a SWOT is?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So it's essentially like a SWOT analysis, but you do it for yourself, right? Okay. So then that is quite scary. Assessing where you're at point A is quite scary, right? So let's just get ahead now to point B. How will you feel when you hit your goal? Will you be eager to go after something bigger? Will you finally quit? Will you be happier? Will life be less stressful? And I think it's so important to really think about these things. So, yeah, one of my goals is to move to the south of France, move to Monaco, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm always thinking when I'm working late nights or early mornings, or I'm stressed, or I'm ill, or I'm not feeling particularly motivated. How do I feel when I'm in Monaco? How do I feel when I'm walking around Monaco? And all of this really crystallizes why I'm working so hard.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have that depth of vision, that depth of understanding of why I'm doing things, I would give myself a P45 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, those people not in Britain, a P45 is what you get when you get fired. Right, so I really feel like it's imperative to have a goal and then to really imagine what life will be like once you have that goal, once you feel that you have that goal, and reimagine what life will, you know, how you'll feel, you know, what life will be like, who you'll be surrounded by, what your day-to-day activities will be like, because that will crystallize and will really internalize why you are suffering as you are at the moment. And I feel like it's so super important. And I feel the people that aren't successful, that do go and get a normal job, are the people that don't have a compelling vision for what they're trying to do, and don't imagine themselves in that reality and paint themselves into that story. Right? I'll give you a quick example. So I was in Monaco 3 weeks ago. And as I was walking around, I was thinking, oh, that'd be cool. Like, when I move here, oh, I can go buy, have a cigar shop. There's no tax on cigars, so like that's even more fun. Or oh, this restaurant, does this kind of menu or that kind of menu, or oh, to get to this vantage point, you need to walk up here. And so I'm coming back and I've got all photos of all of that stuff. I'm constantly flicking through it because I'm constantly reminding myself of what that reality will be like when I'm there.
Yeah, amazing.
And so I think having a compelling vision is super, super important. So how does it relate to marketing strategy? Which they've been asking. So again, it starts with vision. You have to know your limitations. It was Einstein. I think it was Einstein that said, the difference between genius and idiot is a genius knows that he has limitations, right? Something to that effect, right? The reality is that people that are successful measure and track what they're doing every day, every week, every month, in line with what they're trying to achieve. And so they're chunking things down and they're actually making sure that they are progressing. And actually, so at the beginning of 2023, I wrote down what I wanted to achieve in 2023. And, so things I wanted to buy, things I wanted to go, visit, what I wanted in terms of income. And it allowed me every Friday I can sit there and I can say, right, on a scale of 1 to 5, how close am I to reaching that goal? Or or have I reached that goal so I can move it off the list? Yeah. And it also means, because I have limited resources, limited time, if I think, oh, well, I really want X, I then have to think, right, where does it fit in that list?
Yeah.
Right? And so it makes you really, really evaluate, right, am I, do I really want something, or am I just doing something to make myself happy temporarily? And so, yeah, I think planning, how you track and how you measure progress is super, super important. And then, again, what constraints do you have? And then what are your strengths? I think a lot of people, think that they can learn anything. And the older that I've got, I'm mid-30s now, the older that I've got, the more I've realised that actually it's cheaper, faster, and better to just hire somebody who can do stuff that I can't.
Yeah.
Because, I can probably learn how to do 80-90% of what they can do. Mm-hmm. But that opportunity cost, it's far easier for me to just go hire somebody. So, okay, I want you to start with a couple of questions. So, what's your goal? In terms of who you're trying to reach, what can you sell them? Where are they? And how can you reach them? And so this is now coming back down to marketing strategy and actual goal planning. So, say you're a fashion brand, and Dobby ads do a lot with fashion, and let's say you sell natural deodorant, right? Because that's a big trend at the moment, right? So, your goal could be to sell $500,000 worth of stuff in 2024, right? Deodorant. You could be trying to reach females, right? In the 24 to 48 category. What are you going to sell them? So you're going to sell them your natural perfume, deodorant, sorry. Where are they? Are we going to try and get some penetration in the US market because there's appetite, right? And then how can we reach them? So are we going to go onto Amazon? Are we going to run TikTok ads? Are we going to do some SEO? Are we going to do some TV ads? That kind of thing, right? So these questions are super important, and you should be coming back to these constantly and thinking, do I have a good answer for these? And then again, how you measure success. I think you're gonna realize by the end that I love to measure. Okay, so who are you trying to reach? So I guess it's something quite controversial here. So I don't like the idea of niching, because I feel that you're not becoming problem focused.
Okay.
You're becoming identity focused, right? So the example I always use is, a lot of people pick niches out of the ether. So they think, right, I'm going to target pink 3-legged donkeys that have asthma, right? And on paper that sounds fantastic, but then you go into the market and you realize that donkeys don't purchase deodorant, right?
Yeah.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but stay with me, right?
Yeah.
But there's no difference from that from So I know a finance broker here in the UK who just does heavy machinery, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I can't give you a customer because I've got customers in, you know, fast moving goods, or I've got customers in, you know, products businesses, right? So can he help them? Absolutely. But does he want to help them? Absolutely. But does he talk about helping them? No, he doesn't. And so because he's not problem focused, he's just, right, we're doing this with that type of person.
Okay.
It then becomes a little bit trickier, you know. So think about personality traits and think about problems that you're solving.
Okay.
And for whom, but as like wide groups, and don't go too, you know, like, again, three-legged pink donkeys who have asthma, right? Because you can't help those types of people, right?
Okay.
And so think of the personality traits. So, you know, you may be helping, you know, middle-aged women who want to smell great, right? Fantastic. There's 3 billion of them on the world, right? Give or take. So yeah, don't build super detailed personas. And then I had this thing called the coffee shop test. So, and this is gold. This is absolute gold. Imagine going into your local Starbucks, your local Pret, your local whatever, right? It's probably packed to the brim with people. If you understand what personality traits your ideal customer has, you should be able to look around the room and pick that person out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're selling, you know, high-end perfume, you're gonna look at that businessman or businesswoman who's dressed smartly on the laptop with the phone out, you know, with the weird coffee, you know, with the almond milk or whatever, you know, right? That doesn't look like your standard, or, you know, you sell a coffee that you make at home, right? And they may be your ideal customer, and actually going and talking to them might open a load of different avenues, rather than saying, well, I just target women, or I just target, you know, women who are in their 40s. So, you know, more than only one of them in that room, and she doesn't have the purchasing power to buy from you, right? So, again, think about personality traits, think about high-level things that you can identify that across different subsections of the market that you can go after. So, yeah, so try the coffee shop test, or try the high street test, whatever you want to call it. You know, just imagine you're in a massive group of people who, and you can only talk to one of them. Who are you going to go and talk to who could actually buy from you today? Okay, so what can you sell them? So, if you're a startup or you're looking to expand, you know, a lot of people think we need to be clever and we need to go off products that we haven't. We need to bring something really innovative to the market. You don't.
Okay.
You need to do something that's a little bit different, but also you need to do something based on what previous customers have purchased. So whether that be, so, you know, if you're doing natural deodorant, can you do different flavors? Can you do, you know, different sizes of deodorants, those kind of things, rather than thinking, right, well, we done deodorant, now let's do, you know, candles, right? Because I watched this great YouTube video of candles, and everyone's making, you know, a bucket load of cash selling candles. So we need to jump on that, right?
Yeah.
So use customer data, use customer research, go and talk to customers, and build products based on what they're going to buy, not what you think they might buy.
Yeah.
Price attractively, and so, you know, what I mean by price attractively is make sure you are making a decent profit margin, make sure you are competitive in terms of what you're pricing, in terms of what you're competing against. And yeah, so yeah, make sure you know. I think a lot of people think, like, into the pricing becomes the friction point. It doesn't often. If you actually talk to people, it's other things.
Yeah.
But price can sure be the first introductory to your brand, right? So people, you know, if you sell like a mid-market, you know, deodorant at say £20, $20, right? That will set the tone for whether people like you or not. You know, and they'll figure out if they can afford you or not based on that, right? So, yeah. Where are they? So, your ideal customer hangs out somewhere. So it could be the golf course, could be Reddit, could be TikTok, could be the Lady Magazine, which is a big, famous high-end magazine here in the UK.
Yeah.
It's super important to figure out where they are,
Yeah.
And to put your marketing dollars or pounds or euros into where you feel you're going to get the best return for your buck, where there's a great opportunity. So then, when you figure out where they are, it's then right. What can you do? So can you run an advert? Can you book speaking slots, or can you go on like TV shows? Right, you're selling something to like women, right? Or fast-moving consumer goods. Can you join their online communities? Can you email them? Right? Can you focus on SEO, organic search, or organic social? There's loads of different ways that you can reach people, but oftentimes it's about trying to figure out what your competitors are doing or what people are doing that haven't, that are really crowded, and then doing something different.
Yeah.
So, and then we come on to my favorite thing: how to measure success. So, most businesses waste their marketing budget as they measure anything, right?
Okay.
Most marketing agencies get fired because there's a lack of clear measurements. But what gets measured gets managed. That's the Peter Drucker line. But without clear measurements, you'll waste time, money, and effort. But you'll also not know what's working, and that's super, super important. So we can measure things using KPIs and benchmarks. So I'm just going to briefly go over them. So KPIs are key performance indicators. So to me, a good KPI describes what success looks like using a yes or no question. So, did we make £200 yesterday? Did we answer customers' support tickets in 3 hours? Those kind of things. We'll come on to some examples in a second. And then benchmarks are just, how does my performance this month compared to this time last year, or how do I, or compared to last month, or compared to, last quarter, right? And they can really help you understand the ebbs and the flows of your market, but also understand how you are progressing or how you are faring in terms of your long-term trajectory. But also it can help you understand how your industry is moving. The benchmarks are super important. So here's some KPI examples. So $2,000 daily revenue, support tickets answered in 12 hours or less, weekly return rate of 2%. Did you stop work by 6 p.m? All of these are yes/no questions.
Okay.
And the reason they are is KPIs I see as a health check. So every morning, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Every morning, do you wake up and you say, "How do I feel today?"
Yeah.
Don't you? Right? Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's a KPI, right? Because I bet you wake up every morning and you go, "Do I feel great?" And you go, "Yes," because you're Stephen and you're Irish, right? What were you not, right? And so that's how I think of KPIs is you use them to build that big picture, right? That helps you assess where you are going. It doesn't give you a lot of detail. It doesn't give you lots of substantive kind of like underlying kind of metrics, but it helps you understand, right, are we trending towards the right thing? Because if you're not, then you need to do some work. If you are, then you can think, right, can we upgrade our KPIs, etc.
Exactly.
But these should be answerable within a second. So now we're on to benchmarks. So is revenue higher or lower than this month, last month? Does our revenue in growth mirror industry trends? Is our average customer lifetime value greater or less than averages? Now we come on to kind of the fun part. So I need to give you access to this, but you'll get access to a Word document that literally just asks you the questions that I've asked you throughout this short talk. And so I really encourage you to fill out this form, because it will actually give you a step getting there, and then ask for help. So I don't have everything figured out. A lot of this stuff that I've talked about today, I'm constantly quizzing myself on and constantly asking myself about. But if we don't ask for help, we don't ask for better advice, we will never achieve anything. And then the most important thing is keep tweaking it, keep coming back and working on it, keep coming back and figuring things out for yourself, or working with other people, asking those hard questions. And I'm going to end with my favorite quote: is everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah,
and that's me.
Great quote. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, AJ. I think really, really insightful.
Thank you.
For like our listeners, and we're going to make this readily available on demand for everybody. So I think covered a lot there, and I think it's kind of almost a lot of taking that step back and before you get stuck into it, and those key questions that you need to ask. So I think really, really great. And when we share the webinar, we'll be sure to link that document that you talked about. And just as well, before we wrap up, for any of our listeners who do have any questions from either the deck or any other questions, or who would like to maybe just reach out to you to maybe talk more about your services or anything in general, what would be the best way to do that?
Yeah, sure. So you go to audaciouscommerce.com. You can book a call with me. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm fairly active on there. So I'm more than happy to talk to anyone. Please mention that you saw this. I'm heavily active on Instagram under my own name, so that's A_J_Saunders. But no, I'm readily available. So Audacious Commerce is a strategy first marketing agency. So a lot of this stuff that we talked about today, we practice this every day ourselves, but we're also practicing this with our clients because we found that this is the best way to get better, quicker, faster results for our clients and for ourselves. And so we practice what we preach.
Awesome.
And so that's me.
Great. Well, appreciate it. And we'll kind of be sure we'll share the link to those details as well for everybody. And again, really appreciate AJ. And that will do it for this session of Debrief Live. So great. Bye, everybody.